What's up, guys? This is your March monthly astrology forecast. And let me tell you, this is going to be the month that changes everything. All right. I'm sure all you guys know already, if you're watching my videos, you already keep up on the astrology that's going on. But we have an action-packed month. You think the action has been crazy so far? Really, everything here has been warming up to the culmination of these energies. We've all been feeling kind of like there's been a lot of endings, right? Like a lot of things are, it's just, we just want to get the endings over with and get into this new life and this new start. But it looks like a lot of things might be dark. I promise you that if you are doing the inner work and if you are following your heart, then the darkness is going to slowly fade away because we're no longer going to be a vibrational match to that darkness. But I will say that particularly in this month, we have to be ready for change. Change is what creates this new earth, this new life. So really, Saturn is teaching us a lot of lessons this month. So isn't Pluto, but also we're adding into the mix on another level of Chiron because we're ending the astrological year and coming into the next astrological year this month on March 21st. So March 21st, 22nd, 23rd is going to be a major, major pivotal moment. Probably, I'd say, definitely one of the top three times in this year that we're going to see change and we're going to see growth. That means that we're going to have to surrender, let go, and move through. And I know you're probably thinking like, what the fuck? I've already been surrendering and I've already been doing all this work. Like you're telling me you got to do more? And no, it's not about doing more, it's about doing different. All right. This is where we're seeing the processes that we're going through in a certain way, and the changes are going to start to bring new opportunities in. But these new opportunities are going to activate different fears, different areas of our psyche that of self-worth, of self-confidence, especially around money, because we're coming to the end, the last 5 degrees of the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. That means that's like the last 5 degrees is like that's the mastery. You got to push the rest of the shit out. It's the very end of the toothpaste bottle, and you got to use all of it, right? So, so as we clear all this stuff out, we're going to see a lot of energies that are feeling like oh my god, maybe you're gonna lose a job or have to go to another job, or maybe you're a business owner and you caught some employees stealing from you, or maybe you're in a relationship and the relationship went bad, or maybe you didn't think you get pregnant, then you got and then you got pregnant but not in the way that you wanted to. All these different things, all these different ideas and concepts are going to be really in the forefront of the circumstances that happen this month and out in the world crap, the dynamic of all the stuff, all the negative Nancy shenanigans that's going on in the world. The world's going to get stronger and stronger, but really all you can do is get your popcorn and fucking sit and watch the show. If you do pay attention to it, I personally like to pay attention to it a little bit just so I know what's going on in the world, but I don't absorb it. Right? You got to observe it, but watch it like it's a Truman Show, because that's really what we're seeing right now. All the fabrics of reality are being torn apart and ripped apart as people wake up to seeing what their true sovereign power is. And as we see that and move through it, we're coming into our true divine purpose. If you're here right now, and if you're watching this, you are here, right? Then you are here for a purpose, for a reason. I personally believe that everybody has a purpose and a reason. We can see that in a natal chart. So if you'd like to get a reading from me, please visit my website, butterflyfactory.co, or you can email me. It's on the thumbnail, and the biowzrd with no vowels at gmail.com. But let's get into these energies that we have coming up in this very, very potent month. So right off the bat, we start with Saturn at 29 degrees of Aquarius and Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. So those two energies alone sitting at 29 degrees, that's like you're on the cliff and you're kind of teetering back and forth. I'm going to jump. Am I do it? No, yes, maybe, no, yes. It's the highest cliff that we've ever been on. We're sitting in Pisces season as well, and we're going to have a lot of Pisces and Aries energy coming up, and that Pisces is mutable, right? We also have Neptune coming in 25 degrees, which is the last 5 degrees of the entire zodiac, and Neptune clearing that out. That's, you got to be careful of escapism, of addictions, of disillusion and illusion. All right, this mutable energy is allowing us to move through some of the deepest stuff that we've ever been able to do, bring in all of our past lives. All of our past lives are being integrated into this life in order for us to step into our highest and best vibrational good. And it's not for the faint of heart. In fact, this work is strengthening the heart, but in order to strengthen it, we have to move through all the mistakes, even through the past lives. That's why I do, a lot of work with plant medicines, to keep myself clear and keep myself, in my heart. Because sometimes when you're trying to work through those things and there's some deep, deep blockages in there, especially if we're dealing with past life stuff, that just, it doesn't want to move. We need something to help it move. For me personally, that's what works for me. Whatever works for you. Breath work is an amazing aspect. Exercising, lifting weights. Food right now is a whole nother conversation on its own because of all the crap they're putting in the food. So even if you think that you're eating healthy, you're still getting a lot of toxins and all that crap. So we have to rethink literally everything that we're doing in order to be a healthy, balanced vessel. But anyways, at the beginning of the month, okay, here coming into the second, we see Mercury conjunct Saturn at 29 degrees Aquarius. So this is really, and the last decan of any sign typically deals primarily with the collective. All right. So our individual contribution to the collective. That's why, Aquarius is all about the collective. It's all also about technology as well. But with this connection to the collective, especially with Mercury and Saturn at 29 degrees, with Pluto also at 29 degrees, this is saying, like, how do we want to show up? Or how is it that our heart knows that we can and could be showing up that we're not? Where is it that we're holding ourselves back? Where is it that maybe we have self-worth, self-confidence issues? Maybe where is it where we're in this safety bubble of how we've created our life, but this safety bubble is no longer really safe. We're starting to come to the awareness that, wow, what I thought once was safe is no longer the case. And what do I do now? I've worked all this time, last 10, 15, 20 years on creating this life, this matrix illusion, really, especially if you don't own your own business. If you're working for somebody else, like a big industry, like in banking or in real estate, shit's going to get wild. Shit's going to get weird. All right. The whole financial system is changing. I don't want us to even say collapsing, because really it's the illusion of debt and all these things that are collapsing. So really, it's all about shifting and evolving your mindset when it comes to understanding money and abundance and, what you deserve, right? What you deserve in your heart in this life. So if you're in your head trying to analyze it and figure it out, which if you go out there in the world, there's a lot of that, especially with the AI technology stuff. It's getting crazy. We have to be careful not to get caught up in that whirlwind of energy and information, and stay in our heart and stay focused on what is right for us. Because if we're in our head, we can go down some rabbit holes that take us away from our heart, and that's going to be completely detrimental. That's what the dark is trying to do to us here. So, so we can't be doing that. All right. So let's see. On the 3rd, on March 3rd, we have Mercury coming into Pisces now. Now, Mercury doesn't really like being in Pisces, because Pisces is this, big ocean of information and emotional information at that. And so Mercury can get a little lost in there. All right. But, it is going to be trining the South Node and sextiling the North Node. So, coming into it anyways. And, Saturn is coming into a trine with the South Node and the North Node as well. So that is something to look forward to, as Pluto comes into its square. So right now, there's, no matter which way you look at it, there's like a push and pull, a tug of war going on in our consciousness. But this tug of war is designed to, vibrate us up, to pull us out of our own shit, to get us out of our own ways. So the best thing that you can really do is, whenever you're starting to feel weighed down or heavy or chaotic, as your emotional body continues to expand and evolve, you got to take it easy. You got to slow it down. You got to come back into your heart. You got to relax. Because if you try to push and move too much, I have a habit of doing that sometimes, and it doesn't serve anybody any good. All right. So we also have, Jupiter here at 12 degrees. It's going to be exactly conjuncting Chiron. In fact, let's see, on what day is Venus? So on the 2nd as well, Jupiter is exactly conjuncting Venus, and it's just 1 degree away from Chiron. So this triple conjunction also at the same time as these 29 degrees of Saturn and Pluto adds another dynamic to it, where if we take Jupiter and Venus alone, right, that really, and especially in Aries, that is a deep impulsive feeling of wanting to be nurtured, of wanting to be taken care of. So things can be coming up in your relationships about what are my needs? Are my needs being met? This could be in businesses, right? Like, am I giving? Am I receiving the same amount that I'm giving? This is looking at, like, especially empaths, and are you an overgiver? All right, I've been an overgiver quite a bit in many scenarios. A lot of empaths are. So this is really looking at and feeling very deeply. You can't escape it at this point. Where am I overgiving, and how am I not receiving, and why am I not receiving? And when it's conjunct Chiron there, it's like, ooh, there's that thing that you don't want to feel or look at that is preventing you from receiving or getting everything that you want. And here's what you got to do. You got to go into it. You got to feel it. Chiron and Jupiter together in itself, it's extreme either way you look at it. There is no middle point with it. It's either going to be really, really difficult, or it's going to be really, really cathartic and liberating. And catharsis is not necessarily the funnest thing to go through when you're going through it, but after you're done, it feels absolutely incredible. Okay, so right at the beginning of the month, we're coming into all this energy, and this is the beginning, the first part of many more layers of things coming into a new identity, this whole new, not even chapter, this whole new life that we were all being born into at this new level once Pluto comes into uh, Aquarius on the 23rd of March. Okay, so the whole first 3 weeks of March going through Pisces season is clearing out some deep, deep, old, even past life stuff. Be very, very careful not to get caught up in escapism or addictions or, depression, anxiety, self-hate, self-loathing, self blah, 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 whatever you want to call it, because there's going to be a lot of shadow work that needs to be done here. And these are the times that test the souls of men. I know Leo King said that. James O'Keefe from Project Veritas has been saying that, because the bigger your purpose in this world, in this life, in this time, the more you will be tested. Because as you can see, it doesn't matter what opinion you put out there into the world, especially right now, someone's going to talk shit about it. Someone's going to say something bad or wrong, or, like, nothing is right there's going to be always something wrong. You have to be okay with that, because everybody is coming out with their fucking opinions, and everybody's opinions are based on what their environment is showing them, what their experience is. So it's all subjective. Divine truth even is being questioned right now, because our collective understanding of the universe, of consciousness, of everything is evolving. So there's a lot of theory, there's a lot of questioning about that, and we have to trust our heart. Our heart is where all the answers are. Okay, and this is testing us at the deepest levels of where we are in our ego, where are we not honoring our heart, and where are we not honoring ourselves in our lives, with our environments, with our people? What do we want? And if we don't have what we want, why don't we have it? And what is blocking us? That's all the answers that are going to be coming up. Okay, but it's going to require some very intentional work in your heart space to continue to ground yourself, to continue to bring yourself back in there. Okay, so of course on the fourth, let's see when next we have Venus conjunct Chiron. Of course, all that energy is going to be sitting there pretty much consistently for the first week. Then Venus is going to continue to evolve, or continue to go through the sign of Aries, and even go into Taurus before the end of the month. But Jupiter and Chiron are not going to conjunct until the 10th. Okay, so that feeling, like, Venus is going to come through, be like, oh, hey, guess what? This is how I receive, and this is what's blocking you. Then that thing is going to sit there, and it's going to ferment, it's going to permeate until Jupiter comes up to Chiron, and it's like, it's going to pop right out of there. Provided that you don't suppress it, you don't want to be holding that down. There's going to be some level of catharsis for everyone watching this video at some point in this month. And so come back and watch this video if you need some to correlate some of these energies while you're in it, because while you're in the triggers, sometimes you don't see it or you don't remember it, right? It gets overwhelming. So there's going to be a time that really the people that are masters of their triggers are the ones that are becoming the most successful after this time, because really it's going to come down to, do you have a grip on your mental health? There's going to be, like, once as Saturn comes into Pisces, there's going to start to be a serious mental health crisis or pandemic. That's going to be the next pandemic, is this mental health thing. We already see it. Like, I saw a video last week of like a Lady Gaga a concert where some chick was puking some fucking green blue shit onto her. Like, what is wrong with people, man? That's fucking, I mean, I don't understand the whole story. Maybe there's like a philosophy behind it, but still, just looking at that, not really my scene. Not really not really feeling that too much. But anyways, then we come into the 7th, and we have a full moon at 17 degrees of Virgo. So not really a whole lot of super into. Actually, Mars is going to be square, and Mars is going to be square the moon and the sun. So with Mars being square this and coming up to the last Mars Neptune square, whatever it is that you were going through the Mars retrograde between, I'd say, September and the middle of January of this year, there's a final culmination of energy that's coming through with how we go out in the world with understanding a divine masculine. And when I say understanding a divine masculine, just how we go out in the world, how we project ourselves into our environment, and looking a lot at our boundaries, and setting up the scaffolding of our consciousness of the direction of where we want to go. So up until this point, it might have been still like you try to go one way, it doesn't really work out, something's going on, need to learn a few lessons, try to go this way, something's going on, not really working, try to go that way. So that is going to be, when is that going to be? On the 15th. Okay, so that's going to be, that square is going to be exact. So it's going to be a prequel to that. And of course, a full moon in Virgo, like, it's about getting down to brass tacks. This is in the 6th house's purification of the structure of the day, and seeing where we're getting in our way from being as productive and as optimized in our day-to-day function as possible. All right. So let's see here. Now we have, of course, Saturn is going to be coming into Pisces on the 7th. So Saturn coming into Pisces is absolutely huge. That's one of the 2 major transits of this month. The other one, of course, being the Pluto coming into Aquarius. But Saturn is now done with a 2.5-year cycle. I'm personally looking forward to this, but depending on where this is at in your chart, this is where Saturn is structure, right? And Pisces is the absence of structure. In fact, Neptune rules, Pisces. So then now they're coming close together. They're not going to conjunct for another 2.5 years. So we're not quite there yet, but this is where spiritual businesses are going to flourish, are going to thrive. I'm so excited about this because I myself run a few spiritual businesses. So people are going to be seeking, like, nobody wants to go to the hospitals anymore, right? Everybody's afraid to go because of all the bad shit that's happening there. So like alternative healing centers, like drum circles, singing bowl, things, the natural healthcare that aligns the mind, body, and spirit. All those things are going to start to become dominant in a new type of healthcare system. There's actually legislation going on right now to change the rules so that insurance will cover these kind of things that are actually helping people. And so a lot of really important, good things are happening there. It's going to take a little while, a couple months to really start to see it, but just know that that's coming. Okay. So on the, let's see, 10th here, of course, we have Jupiter conjunct Chiron at 14 degrees of Aries. And this exact conjunction will last, let's see, about 5 days. All right. And now, of course, we have Venus that is creeping up to the end of Aries. We have Mercury that's going to Cazimi, the sun here. Actually, so Mercury and Neptune are going to conjunct just about the same time the sun is going to be there too, with White Moon Selena in there. So this is White Moon Selena is basically spiritual protection. All right. With Mercury and Uranus conjunct, this is seeing the big picture of where we want to go after we are now that we are clearing the Jupiter Chiron energies of the blockage to our inner child, the blockages to our identity, Now we're going to see the next big picture, the next chapter of where we're going. We're going to get ideas, understandings, visuals, concepts of how big this is going to be. We're all stepping up into a new chapter, a new layer of what we want to accomplish in this life to really create this whole new world. So we can expect that to be a little like, holy shit. There's going to be a lot of holy shit energy because you can see the big picture, but now it's like, how the hell do I get there? Right? But your spirit, provided, you know, the more that you're in your heart, your spirit's going to be like, don't worry about it, bro. I got you. Okay. So all good things. And then, of course, Mercury is going to stay conjunct the sun through 27 degrees. So that last couple degrees is clearing out, potentially clearing out any doubt, any curiosity, or any fear-based energies, provided that you're not escaping it away or, you know, consuming things that are numbing you out. You do not want to be numbed out this month. That is one thing that you need to be careful of. Watch out for escapism. Watch out for numbing yourself out. Watch out for not wanting to look at your shadow. Okay. Now, also on the 17th, we have Venus now going into its home sign of Taurus. All right. Now, right when it gets into Taurus, it's going to be conjuncting the North Node. Right around the time that Mercury is conjuncting the Sun and coming into Aries, we have Venus that's going to be conjuncting the North Node. And that's beautiful because that's where, you know, fated things are going to come in, provided that we cleared this energy from our inner child, right? We now have this energy that's like, all right, you cleared this out. Now this new stuff can come in. We're alchemizing energy at an exponential rate right now, guys. It's very, very powerful. So allow the intuitive messages, allow the healing to come in. What people, places, things that you feel intuitively guided to, follow that. Don't overcomplicate it with your analysis. You'll go into analysis paralysis because it's going to be overwhelming, because there's going to be just too much information out there that is the darkness is trying to confuse you with. Stay in your heart. All right. On March 20th, we have the Venus conjunct the North Node exact, and that's the exact day when the sun comes into Aries. Not to mention that on the 21st, you know, so the sun stays in at 1 degree for roughly 24 hours. And the sun is going to be, I mean, the moon rather, is going to be coming in on the 21st early. And we're going to have a new moon at 0 degrees of Aries. This is very, very rare. I've actually never seen this before. So the last 5 new moons we had were at 1 degree of each particular sign, and it came down all the way through the end of the zodiac. Now having a new moon here on March 21st at 0 degrees of Aries. Let me just back this up a little bit so you can actually see it. It's pretty wild. 0 degrees when Pluto is just 3 minutes away from coming into Aquarius. So this time right here is going, especially with Venus conjunct the North Node with Pallas Athena there, we're seeing our future, but it's like there's something big, something fundamental in our soul, in our ego that, well, in our soul, actually, that we have to let go of. And it's going to feel like a major ego death, but we all know that this is what we have to do. This is where we have to go. So don't freak out. This is all about surrender. And, you know, now we have Neptune at 25 degrees as well, with Saturn there in Pisces. This is where we're going to really start to feel this new beginning. But just a couple days after that, on the 23rd, we have Pluto coming into Aquarius. All right. This is the big daddy. This is the big enchilada. This is where shit's going to get weird, man. But, you know, shit needs to get weird, because underneath all these lies and everything that we've been led to believe, that we told, we're going to start to see a lot of stuff, even more so than now, coming out in the world, that's going to blow our fucking mind. Probably like things that we can't even conceive of at this time yet. So just be very open-minded. This is going to require a very open mind, you know, for us to be able to really move through it. Okay, so 25th, we also have Mars now, finally, after spending like 8 months, August, 6, 7, almost 9 months, 9 months in one sign, finally coming into Cancer. Now, I'll be honest, Mars in Cancer isn't exactly the best sign, but it's going to feel like at least a change from Mars in Gemini, which is already very cerebral. Okay. So that cerebral energy is going to back off a little bit. And that backing off, I think, is going to be, a breath of fresh air for everyone. Not to mention, too, Jupiter now being finally past Chiron. It's finally like, oh man, that was the big pimple that needed to pop for a long time. We finally got that over with. Now it's like Jupiter is more like home free. I think that now, once Jupiter gets into the third decan, is when we're going to really feel Jupiter, and we're probably going to feel that, yeah, let's go get it, that gusto, that let's make shit happen. All right. So we also have Venus coming up into its conjunction with Uranus. I have that natally in my chart. That is, new relationships coming in, new ways of being in relationships. We have Mercury here on the 26th, conjunct Chiron. So this is really after we've cleared out that deep wound. It's now seeing, okay, how do we integrate this deep wound into this new version of ourselves that we're becoming into? What is true self-confidence and self-worth look like? And, there's not arrogance. It's not arrogance. It's not me being a cocky son of a bitch. It's me understanding, being humbled and sitting in my heart and seeing what I want and having the boundaries to step into, to know how to get what I want in order to be able to service to others. This is all about all the parts of us that are service to self, all the survival instincts are being cleared out, and all the abundance instincts are being infused. Okay, so it's all good things, but when we're clearing this shit out, we're clearing many, many, many lifetimes of trauma and the like that need to go in order for us to be able to manifest all this beautiful, wonderful stuff. Okay, so let's see. And then on the 30th, we have the Venus conjunct Uranus, okay, at 16 degrees. So also Uranus too, like this is where Uranus is getting into like a lot of conflict. Like the external conflict we see is a representation of the internal conflict we see. So if you're watching things or paying your attention to things that are making you feel conflict, stop it. Stop. I mean, like, look at where you're at. And if in your life you have conflict, you have drama, we're all clearing karma, right? And sometimes, like, when someone throws conflict at us, we have to be the bigger person, be like, you know what? I don't need to live my life with that kind of conflict. I don't want to live my life that way. So I'm going to show up for myself with love, and I'm not going to allow you to affect me like that. It's, if you think of like the movie The Matrix, right? When Neo was at the very end, when he gets shot, right? He had a near-death experience, and then he wakes up, and then he just decides, he has this knowing, no, and they all shoot bullets at him. Think of those bullets as like, psychic attacks, negative thoughts, manipulation, all these, narcissistic things. Like, no, sorry, stop. I am not going to allow that to affect me. I'm going to choose to be the bigger person and not believe that these things are true about me, because I know that I'm living in my integrity and that I don't deserve all these things. So you're not going to affect me. Bye-bye. You block it out, or you separate yourself from it, and you move in to your next chapter with love and appreciation and gratitude for having the strength and the self-love to do that. Okay. So I hope that you guys get something out of this video. If you do resonate, please like, share with whoever you think will benefit from it, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. If you would like a reading with me, please go to my website or just message me, comment down below. Go check out my Instagram at bio_wizard_ and DM me there. Many ways to get a hold of me. Let's work together. Let's let's do some healing work. Let's get it done. All right. I appreciate y'all very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all on the next report. Aho.